And we're joined at the desk by Heidi Hiemstra, who's the Franklin County Volunteer Coordinator for CASA, and Bill Scott, who is one of the volunteers. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much for being on the show with us today. Let's just start, Heidi, with you.
Sure.
Let's talk about what CASA of the Bluegrass is and what CASA stands for.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So CASA of the Bluegrass, CASA stands for Court Appointed Special Advocates. And what do we advocate for? We advocate for kids who have a open neglect or abuse case in family court. A lot of them are foster kids, but some of them are still in their homes. And what we do as advocates is we get volunteers, like our wonderful Bill here, to get to know and spend time with the children in a case and both support them, but also really get to know the situation and all the parties involved. And then we write up information about what's in the best interest of the child. So it's a really valuable eyes and ears for the judge, Judge Squire Williams here in Frankfurt, who does a great job. But of course, he can't get out and meet all the kids. That's just not possible. So that's our role.
And so we've mentioned that Bill is a volunteer. Let's talk a little bit about what the process is like. I know Franklin County is in need volunteers for CASA of the Bluegrass. How does somebody get started? What's kind of the time commitment for something like that?
Yeah, which is, of course, why we're here today, and is that we have a training starting here in Franklin County in our office downtown. We're right above the county court where we go and pay our car taxes every year. So county clerk's office, I should say, sorry. But we have a training starting up tomorrow night. And what it is it's an 8 weeks, 3 hours on Tuesday nights. So it is a commitment, but that is what we're looking for, is a commitment. These are kids who need reliable people in their lives. So the training it's very kind of casual and fun. Actually, we do a lot of just discussion about different issues and learning about the court system and the needs of these kids too. So, and I'll let Bill talk a little bit about the time commitment and all that when you are a volunteer.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, it's been a real pleasure for me to be in the CASA system. And one of the things that the viewers have to keep in mind is that the Department of Social Services does a great job, but they have very high caseloads. A lot of social workers have 40, 50 kids that they're responsible for, and it's just not feasible that they're going to be able to give each and every one of those kids the proper attention that they need to determine what the best possible outcome is. And so CASA was started. We basically focus on one child. Now, occasionally, I think Heidi mentioned to me earlier, we've got a pretty big group of kids right now. There might be some CASA volunteers with 2 children. But for the most part, I think the standard is 1 child per CASA volunteer. So we do a lot of work with the social worker. We look at the files, we look at the background of the child, we look into the parent situation, we look seriously at how the child is doing in school or in daycare. We look at the complete child and then try to give the judge in the family court setting the very best kinds of recommendations for the best interest of that child. And so there's a lot of investigation, there's a lot of collaboration with various parties, and then finally there's the report. And I have to say Judge Williams takes CASA very seriously, and not only do we get to submit a written report, but the judge usually asks us for our opinion in the court setting, and so we get a chance to elaborate on that verbally, which we greatly appreciate.
And you mentioned, and a lot of folks might not know this, that you don't have to have a special degree or any kind of special outsized training that you're bringing into it.
No,
you all train your volunteers there.
Yeah, that is the strength of the CASA model, which was started, I think, in Washington State in the 1990s or 80s, and it's gone national. But the strength of the model is taking ordinary people. We would love to get some folks involved who are from the communities that we serve. Certainly, I mean, have faced a lot of the same challenges that our kids have and their families have. Certainly the impact of the drug epidemics and addiction problems and all that have spread tragically far through our community. So it is really wonderful when we get some folks who have that personal experience to come in and help out. And that's the strength of the model, is just having ordinary people who are highly trained and supported. I'm on the phone with my volunteers. I had somebody call me while I was out for dinner for Mother's Day last night, and I'm like, all right, what's going on? So it very supported and very active, but only, I don't know that we said a number of hours, but I usually say it's about 10 hours a month at most. Sometimes there's a case with a number of kids and stuff is going on and you have to spend more time, but half the time you're spending less than that on a given month. Hopefully things are going well. So, and one thing with the training is not only do you not have to have any special degree or anything, or even a college degree or even a high school degree. We don't really care about that. What we care about is that you're willing to commit for at least 1 year of volunteering to go through the training, and that you can do the training. You need a background check, and we've had people with minor issues come up and just talk to us about it, see if it's something that's acceptable. And also you have to be 21. So to get involved, we're asking people to go to our website, and I see on the screen it's got that information, and fill out an online background or an online application, and we'll take it from there. And even though we have a training starting tomorrow night, it is an 8-week training, so if it's something that you are really interested in and want to reach out and learn a little more, you can call our office number. And if you can't start tomorrow night, we can start next week. I mean, we'll catch up.
Okay, that's good. That's good to know.
We'll catch up, and then they'll miss out. Yeah, and we do these trainings probably 2 or 3 times a year, so there's always an opportunity coming up. Yeah.
And we showed the graphic just a second ago, the CASA Best Interest Advocacy kind of graphic there. I thought that was really important. And I think that shows sort of 5 kind of key things that you all are looking for in the type of work you're doing, right?
Right. And we have people who want to work with teens or really want to just work with little kids, and we can usually accommodate that kind of interest. Also, I've got some volunteers who write themselves a perfectly polished report without me having to say anything. I've got other people who I meet with, and we sit down and we write it together. So if you're not comfortable with that, that's not an obstacle either. What we really need are people who want to connect with kids and share the information about them and try to make good things happen for these kids.
And we know volunteering is extremely important with CASA of the Bluegrass, but so is fundraising, right? Mm-hmm. And there's an upcoming Taste of the Trace event, right?
Yes.
Which we'll love to have you guys back on as it gets a little closer. But just tell us real quick what the dates are, or what the date is for that.
Absolutely. It is September 15, so coming up in the fall, and it is a fundraiser fund. I think we're going to do barbecue again at Buffalo Trace with a silent auction, and it's just a good time.
Yeah. Do you usually have music there? Is
that? Oh yeah.
Okay.
We're working.
Still working on that. You got some time.
We're making decisions.
You got some time.
Yeah.
Well, again, real quick, the volunteering, the 8-week, was it 8 week?
Yeah, 8 weeks.
It starts
3 hours and
it
Tuesday
starts
nights.
tomorrow.
3 hours
Tuesday nights.
on Tuesday.
Yep, after work on Tuesday. So that is if you're interested at all, reach out. You can go ahead and fill out an application on the website, or just call, and we'll get the process started and hopefully get you started soon.
And you all have a Facebook page as well?
Absolutely.
Okay.
If you just search on CASA the Bluegrass, that's very active.
Okay.
And we serve Franklin, Anderson, Boyle, and Mercer counties.
Okay.
So the other big areas down in Danville, that's where our main office is. So all of that is on our website and our Facebook page.
Bill, what was it that led you to volunteer in this particular organization? What was the draw for you?
Well, I had a background in children's services and public education, and so I always have had a keen interest in the welfare of children. And when I retired in 2013, I looked around at the different opportunities, and quite frankly, I found nothing that would be nearly as satisfying and fulfilling as the CASA volunteer role. So it was a natural fit for me. And I have to say that it's absolutely lived up to my expectations. I've had a chance to work with 12 or 15 children over the course of that time. I've met some wonderful foster parents. I've met some fantastic birth parents who, due to circumstances, went through a rough patch, but in many cases have been able to come back and bring the child back into the family. And of course, the people in the CASA network have been terrific, the judges, the social workers, and of course, my wonderful volunteer coordinators like Heidi.
I've said it on the show 100 times, so I don't want to go into it again. But to me, I can't imagine a volunteer opportunity that would be more impactful, especially if you got a love for kids, than this one.
Yeah, if you want to do something where the rubber really meets the road in terms of children, there's nothing better than being a CASA volunteer. That's all I want to say. But in much less serious matters, do you all have a movie that you'd like to see a sequel of?
You definitely need to come back to making it light a lot when you're dealing with heavy things. Yes, absolutely. I don't know. I was thinking about it, and my sci-fi geek side says, man, it would be wonderful to see another Serenity.
Okay.
For the
That's the
all of us,
Firefly
the
folks,
Firefly
right?
movie. Yeah, for those of us who loved that series and hated to see it go away back before streaming. So who knows? Maybe there's money for that now. But and then I was thinking of something else. It would be really a movie I loved. Is Love Actually. I know a lot of people love that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how well that could do as a sequel.
It's got so many
but
characters you
it
can
had
check
so
in
many
with
characters.
everybody,
Like you've got the next generation, you've got that cute little
Right.
boy
Yep.
and aging couples, and who knows?
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
I think that's a good call. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bill, what about you? Anything jumps to
Well,
mind?
I'm a big fan of pro football, and I loved the movie Silver Lining Playbook.
Okay.
I love
a good one.
Robert De Niro, of course, was kind of my generation. I love Jennifer Lawrence and Bradley Cooper, of course, up-and-coming star. I like the eccentricity of the characters in that film. They were all unique, and they all seemed like the kind of people that would be fun to get to know better. So I'd like to see if that relationship between Bradley and Jennifer continued on after the little
They make
dance
it.
competition
Really
that they
right.
won. So
There you go.
that would be my vote right there.
That's a really good film.
Yeah.
And when you said football, I didn't know you were going to go in that direction. I was like, where are we going? Any given
I
Sunday or
was
something?
wondering, draft day too,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah. Bill, I got to ask you one question. Do you ever get Stellan Skarsgård comparisons?
No, I
I'm
don't,
shocked.
actually.
There's a big likeness to me. All right, well, you got one.
You got one.
I hope that's a compliment. I don't know.
I think so. I think
absolutely.
so.
Thank you.
Well, Heidi and Bill, thank you all so much for coming on the show and talking about CASA Bluegrass volunteer opportunities. It's such an important cause, and like I said, you really, if you're interested in volunteer opportunities out there in Franklin County, and really can't find anything better than CASA.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
all.
having us.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.